Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, these Edomites are crying out because they don't know what a bad day is, but they're soon to find out. Let me make sure this is recording. Hold on, Slovakia. Make sure this is recording. Let's see here. Okay, up and running. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, where it teaches truth and sincerity, and shout out to the Akims out there in the four corners of the earth to proclaim this truth. Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Brakatum. So this is the elder brother from North Carolina camp, and a little bit that he put together on these whining ass fucking Edomites, man. Wah, wah, wah.
Everyone was quiet. It was not a birthday celebration.
Yeah, fuck you, Esau.
You know, I truly don't think that we are ready to have the conversation of every single fucking American crashing the fuck out at this point. Fuck! Rent, power, Wi-Fi, cell phone, insurance, gas, groceries, I don't give a fuck! Goddamn, I'm tired of being told you can figure it out. I'm tired of trying to figure it out! Every goddamn day is the fucking same. Gas is going up, groceries is going up, but yet the fucking higher-ups are living fucking life! Dude, I'm about to fucking crash the... I am crashing the fuck out!
Has anybody considered the fact that we might just be underreacting? Anyone? Anyone? Prices of literally everything keep skyrocketing, no matter what. And the supposed leader of the free world says accountability is a scam. How are we not in the streets every day? How are we not putting a stop to the blatant corruption and bullshit that plagues this awful sorry excuse for a country? Other countries are laughing at us because we are letting this happen! The government will not fix it, it is our job! Revolution!
How are we living? We're not. We're not. Not in this world. We're existing. That's it. Who else is so tired of this struggle just to survive?
Wah, wah,
I'm just one
wah.
paycheck away from losing everything, including myself. I don't have rent for June. I don't even know where rent's gonna come from for July. And I work my ass off. My husband works his ass off, guys. My mental health is gone. I smile every day for my kids, and it's fucking fake. How are we supposed to do this? I'm to the point now where I just can't even worry about bills. I just have to go with it because I have to have surgery.
Retard.
I don't know what to do anymore, guys. I just feel dead inside.
Because you are.
I'm not okay. I don't think any of us are actually okay. I think we're all lying.
Yep. Because you are a liar.
How are we doing this? I'm so tired.
Wah, wah,
I'm so
wah.
tired.
Join me for just a moment while I crash out.
Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2, and it reads, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Thanks double honors to the head apostles, / elder beloved bishops of Great Millstone, one that taught us the 100% truth according to the Bible. Peace, blessings, and safety to all you sincere items. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep the faith. God, some people here for a bit. Take my screenshot right quick. It's going to be the screenshot. Crash out season. Crash out, mash out. Crash out, mash out. Look, through. Through as hell. Through. Crash out, look. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Now, sleazy Esau, Edom, they're catching them. And they're losing. They're not used to suffering, all right? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are used to suffering. 500 years of surplus of suffering, all right? 250 plus years of oppression. These people go through one season of catching hell, and they crash out, mash out. These Edomites are ready to crash out. Oh, girl said, look, she ain't ready to crash out. She said she is crashing out. You heard this dude, and they're going to be on the streets soon come. Look, they're going to be on the streets, so they should not regard that king nor princess. Let's get that right quick. Just something quick. I'll work a dish. I'm so busy today, I ain't have time to do none of that work. And as the scripture said, but we the crazy guys on the streets. Make sure y'all hold that energy. We the crazy guys on the street corners, right? And we don't know what we're talking about, right? Just a bunch of gibberish, right? Remember, the Lord had us on the streets telling you what was going to happen before it even happened. We've been prophesying of businesses closing down. We've been prophesying of people just losing it, pulling their damn hair out of their damn head, just screaming, hollering, all these things. It was bound to come to pass sooner or later. Remember, we told you what was going to happen before it even happened, and these words don't go out void. Now look, 2 chapter 15, right? 2 chapter 15, and let's see, hold on. Where am I at? No. 1 chapter 15, just get it right quick. People are, and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. See? People can't pay that one Eve, when not Eve, that one Edomite chick. She's like, she ain't paid rent for June yet. And she said she most definitely don't know how the hell she gonna pay. She said she don't know how she gonna pay for July's rent because she didn't even pay June's rent, and she got a house. She gotta go see the doc. She gotta go see the doc. You know they gonna put a motherfucking expensive bill on her ass. Then you already know what it is. Health insurance is too expensive. Rent is too expensive. Water is too expensive. Food is too expensive. The way of living. Cause this ain't living. Everybody's starting to see the nations. They're starting to experience what we've been experiencing over the last 500 years. Welcome to our reality. That's the only thing I can tell you, heathens. Welcome to our reality, and you only been in it for a hot little second. Wait till the Lord's situated. Wait till the Lord's situated, and you can't get out of it. You've been able to get your way out of the problems for a long time, but not this time. 2 chapter 15. Let's go. Here we go. 2 chapter 15. Verse. And this was not being able to pay your bills, not being able to keep a roof over your head, not being able to put food on the table. Not being able to take care of your offspring, that makes a person look what say. But people ain't got nothing to lose, they lose. What should I name this video? Should I name it crash out, mash out, dash out? Or when people ain't got nothing to lose, they lose it. Or see, this is what happens when the wicked rules earth. What am I gonna name it, man? I don't know. But I know one thing, 2 chapter 15, verse 16, 14. Woe to the world, destruction to the world, and them that dwell therein. For the sword of the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in the hand. They said they're not gonna crash out. They said they're crashing out already. They're crashing out already, man. Especially over here in Babylon, the Great America, this place has a more big way. 3 to 5 blickies, swords, GUNs per house. At least 3 to 5 blickies in each of y'all. Still call them hammers. Hammers. It's hammer time. It's hammer time. They call it ratchets. They call it hammers. They call it sticks. They call it drums. Well, to every household, there's at least 3 to 5 drums. And you see the love of men is West Coast. You see these teenage takeovers, man? These big crashing out. You don't see the love of men in West Coast? HATE is at an all-time high. I was at work earlier, you know what I'm saying? Had niggas just screaming and hollering. Just to be doing something, just crashing out. The Lord said people gonna fight against another with swords in their hands, weapons in their hands, tire irons, billy clubs, baseball bats, ratchets. You can't forget that, ratchets. That part. 100-round drums, right? For there should be sedition among men. People are going to crash out against the government. They're going to excite other people to go to these videos like this. These people that's crashing out, they excite. Because you heard this dude right here he said, what the hell is going on? Why haven't you people, revolted against the fake ass people that's ruling the earth? The lying ass government. That's what he said. I'm just reporting the news. There should be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their king nor prince. They're going to come to the conclusion that they've been bamboozled. They've been hoodwinked. Even Edomites like this, they at least don't care about them. At least don't care about nobody but themselves. And it's showing everybody, man. Mortgage is expensive as hell. Property tax then went up. Everything's tainted. Ain't nothing real. And oh yeah, what the Klaus Schwab said, you ain't gonna have nothing and you better be happy. That's what that Edomite said. That small top said. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their ashes shall stand in the power. I'm gonna play a little bit of that video again. They're gonna take over city blocks, man. These people are going to lose it. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because they're going to eventually lock it down. Eventually. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. It's about to be nothing but lawlessness and chaos, doom, gloom, spooky, riskiness. But wait, there's more. All the above. They can't celebrate their birthdays no more. They can't take their offspring to dinner no more. All these things. Can't get no cake. Can't get no wine. Can't get no candles. Can't get no steak. All that. Things that they used to get, they can't get it no more, man. It's either heat or eat. Remember that video? Heat or eat? It's either pay your light bill, you know what I'm saying, or pay your water bill. Which one you want? You can't pay both. Put a little bit on the rent, get you some grocery. You can't do both. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. And nobody's going to help you out. Bear with me. So we're living in a time where nobody ain't going to give you a damn dollar. Can I borrow $2? I ain't got it. Can I borrow $5? Look, I ain't got it, man. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with a sword. Nobody cares about you. You heathens going to find out the hard way, just like we've been finding out the hard way for 500 years. Don't worry about it. Sleazy is going, and this is system. This is sleazy. So this is nest egg. This is kingdom. This is heaven for them. We just get this shit played out on earth. And they coming to the conclusion, some of them, a lot of them, coming to the conclusion that they've been fucked over. So Sleazy is going to lose it, man. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil, meaning take their goods. What's that sword again? The blicky, the GUN, the tire iron, the bat, the lug wrench, the damn pliers, the screwdrivers, all that, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and have a great tribulation. People can't put food on the table, so now they're like, the hell with it, yo. I might well go all out. I might well go all out. Don't even play. Just go here. Look, don't even play about nothing at all. What am I gonna play around for? Let's go here. Let's go to Sirach. I want to go to Sirach. Let's go here. Sirach, chapter 10. It's going to be so quick, too. All work edition. So busy at work, I ain't having any chapter chance. I'm saying to do nothing when I took a so-called little lunch break. This is Sirach, also known as Ecclesiastes, chapter 10. Verse, where we at? Right here. 10, verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people. Who's ruling the earth? An unwise king. Edomites. Starting off with the head of the snake. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Bloombergs, the Oppenheimers, the Sugar Growers, the DuPonts, the Bushes, the Clintons, the head of the snakes, man. They're ruling the earth. And the unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. You see? See what happened when the unwise king rules the earth? Everyone suffers. Matter of fact, not finishing, hold on. Just hold on. So quick. Sleazy, you're through. I might name it that. Sleazy, you're through. You sleazies. You're through, man. Baruch chapter 4. Now you can experience everything that we've been experiencing for the last 500 years, but double though. Just imagine that. Baruch chapter 4. Hold on. Baruch chapter 4, verse 31. Miserable are they that afflicted. Misery is coming upon these people now. And we don't feel bad at all. No, not one bit. Not one bit. Miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoice at thy fall. Now it's their turn. They rejoice at our fall. We're rejoicing at their fall. That's not godly, brother. That's not godly, bro. Shut your ass up, ninja. Go to somebody else's video that cares about what you think. Because I don't. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. We serve what? Hardcore abundance, slavery, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Nobody has paid for it yet.
You know, that's the funny thing, you know, getting out of plantation Christianity. You know, I'm just going to go on a little bit here. But just that bit, man. You know, all this is new, man. You know, I was told that if I had any bad thoughts about those that were oppressing me, you know, that were doing shit to me, oh, that's not the Christian way. You got to pray for them. You got to love them and all that. You see, people got their minds all fucked up from plantation Christianity. Once I got into this truth, it's like, wait a minute, I can pray against my enemies? Yeah. Never trust thine enemy. I wasn't taught those scriptures when I was in plantation Christianity, and that's why we have the 100% truth. There's clarity. Yes, you can pray for the destruction of your enemy, Esau, Edom. And you can pray for the kingdom come to be done on earth as it is in heaven, which means that his kingdom has to go down. You know, it has to totally be destroyed. I love how he puts it, man. You know, we don't feel the least bit sorry for any of these goddamn Edomites. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, call me insensitive. You weren't sensitive when we was going through shit, right? And you said it wasn't your fault. You know, that you didn't do that. Oh, you had nothing to do with that, right? But if you don't know what a bad day is, you're about to find out, because guess what? They're also going to be running out of oil, as she goes into here, right? Slovakia. Goddamn fucking commercial. I get rid of this shit if I can. Wait, is this part of the video? Okay, let's go. That was actually part of the video. Slovakia for that.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about something Donald Trump kind of let slip out at the G7 that he was at probably about 2 weeks ago over in Europe. And I don't think he was supposed to say this to the public, but you know how Donald Trump is. Donald Trump, his mouth is so big he couldn't keep a secret to save his mama's life. So anyway, he let slip out that we only had 4 weeks of oil in reserve in the United States. And that right there would prove that a lot of oil comes from the Strait of Hormuz. And they've been lying all along. Donald Trump has been lying all along, trying to act like we really don't get that much from them. Apparently, that is a lie. So anyway, if you remember, it must have been a few months ago, Iran said they will sell to anybody except for Israel and the United States. And not long after that, Donald Trump came up with that naval blockade. Now, why would you have set up a blockade and you don't really get nothing out of there? That doesn't make any sense. Something ain't adding up. Well, the something is we get plenty of oil out of the Strait of Hormuz. And for some reason, they don't want us to know it. So if we only have 4 weeks, that should have been told to the public. Do you know how crazy it's going to be out here? Look how crazy it got when gas stations start putting up out of fuel signs. Well, you know what? Now that the war is back on, that's going to happen again. That's going to happen again. All right? They're not chattering about peace talk. So if we're now going to be out of oil, do you know the hell that's going to break out in this country? Man, it is going to get crazy up in here. So I want y'all to hear this. And part of the video,
they're going to find out what a bad day is really like.
You're going to see Donald Trump say exactly that. You know, we got 4 weeks left. This is crazy. And it just goes to show you, these folks have run this country into the ground. And they don't care. They don't care that they've done this. But the bottom line is, the only one that's going to suffer are the people. And I think they fear the reaction from the public. That's why they're just going to keep on lying. And then when it happens, oh, well, you know, there's a reason why he's trying to get this bunker built, you know. So, y'all, and I meant to tell you this, too.
Yeah, Bunker Boy is another name for him.
You know how Donald Trump was trying to paint the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. to blue, to make the water look like it's blue? And then the paint and everything started peeling off and all this green algae showed up in the water. Well, that situation got worse. I mean, the reflecting pool looks like a bright green. And usually ducks will swim around in the reflecting pool. The ducks are dying, y'all. When they get out there, there are dead ducks. And some of them that probably won't last but a few more days or a day or so. But yeah, it just goes to show you that water is very toxic. You know, ducks swam in the reflecting pool since it's been there. And now the ducks are dying. Says a lot. And he paid $14 million for that upgrade. And look at what happened, y'all. You can't tell me that's not a curse. That's definitely a curse. So let me share my screen so we can get started. So we're going to talk about the U.S. running out of oil. Okay, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen.
So, yeah, there it is.
Thank you.
The United States, its strategic petroleum reserve is at a 43-year low. It is below 300 million barrels. And 260 is considered defense cutoff. Once we hit that, which could be in a matter of days, automatically we're supposed to cut it off because that is the oil left over to fight a war. They're saying that that oil could run out by the 10th to the 15th of July. And if we get to automatic cutoff,
well, there we are.
Then we're going to start seeing shortages, not discrepancies. Shortages means shit just ain't there, right?
Yeah.
The world's strategic petroleum reserves, all of them, minus China, I have to add. Okay, China did not open its SPR. It is using it as a cushion. It overfilled. The world drained 35 years of stored strategic petroleum reserves in 60 days.
Yeah.
Thank you, Donald Trump. Donald Trump personally did this. What the world put together and prepared for a rainy day for 35 years because of Donald Trump's actions of attacking Iran has emptied the world's strategic petroleum reserve in just the first 60 days of the war. And don't forget, war went on further than that. And it is now, 18 months? Oh, it will take 18 months for the United States, if the Strait of Hormuz goes back to its previous flows of oil, it will take 18 months to refill the strategic petroleum reserve if we only buy oil and refill the strategic petroleum reserve. Just the strategic petroleum reserve. And that would require...
And if it goes back to normal, if that's a big if.
Well, we've now traded strikes with Iran for the second day since the peace agreement has completely collapsed. And now we are even closer to what could be a catastrophe. The U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve is now at 19 million barrels, and it is 19 million barrels away from estimated minimum operating levels. is what this is showing us. You can see where it says
by next Wednesday. There it is.
This chart, by the way, goes all the way back to 1989 is the first year on the chart. Let me just go ahead and remove this lower third for you so you can take a look at it. And it goes all the way up to where we are today. And we are here is the yellow arrow. We are really close to that red line. So the strategic petroleum reserves are almost to the point where we don't have any reserves. So what exactly does this mean? Well, does it mean we're not going to have any more oil? No, we produce quite a bit of oil as a country. But what it does mean is we will see inflation when, Donald Trump actually said, he even said that we were, I believe, 2 weeks away. Let me actually look at the calendar. It was June 17th that Donald Trump said we were 4 weeks away from running out of oil. And 4 weeks would be next week, the 15th. And we're on the 9th today. So by next Wednesday, apparently the strategic reserves will hit that red line by next Wednesday. And that means that prices are going to go up. When people, the market, we still have oil. It's not like we run out of oil, but markets are very reactionary. So when they know that the government can't whisk in and release more oil barrels in order to boost the economy back up, they start pricing things like, oh no, we're at that point. We don't have any reserves left. We have no money in the bank, basically. So we're living paycheck to paycheck. And if a crisis hits, we have enough oil to keep ourselves functioning on a day-to-day, but if a crisis hits, just very much like living paycheck to paycheck, crisis hits, you're screwed. And one thing that is a crisis is keeping the Strait of Hormuz closed. Our war with Iran, them closing the Strait of Hormuz, helped get us to that point. It didn't entirely get us to that point. Let's go ahead and pull that chart back up. It didn't entirely get us to that point. That big dip that you see, that waterfall dip before we get to, and then it kind of built back up a little bit, and now we're back down. That happened in 2022. And that was... COVID was a lot. I think this really started falling off a cliff. It looks like 2020 is when it started dropping, then it really dropped again in 2022. So from 2020 on is when we see that dip. So we had COVID, we also had the Russia-Ukraine war, and that...
Also, we run out of reserves in about 4 weeks. There are reserves all over the world.
There it is.
We would really run out, and there'll be a time when you wouldn't be able to get it, and you want to see bedlam? Also, we run out of reserves in about 4 weeks. There are reserves all over the world, and we would really run out, and there'll be a time when you wouldn't be able to get it, and you want to see bedlam?
And the crisis begins. So some gas stations in Florida have announced that they have run out of gas. In case y'all don't know, the United States does have a lot of oil, but we produce light oil, and our oil refineries process heavy oil. So we can't even process the oil we're getting out of the ground that we have. We have to send that over to other countries to process because our plants only process the heavy oil like from Venezuela. So now a lot of people don't realize that the gas that we put in our car is a combination of different oils that create the gas we use. And some of those gases come from the Middle East. So we are now starting to see the crisis that's already hit Australia. Australia's already had shortages. So now it's starting to happen in the United States and Florida. And it's going to spread because Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth have yet to actually put in mitigation measures. They never had any mitigation measures.
This right here is a chart of the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserves. This war with Iran started way back at the tail end of February. And I've made several videos about how this is very concerning and that the United States is headed for a domestic oil crisis due to the Strait of Hormuz being completely closed throughout the majority of this war. It seems as though lately it is slightly open, but again, the volume of traffic that we're used to seeing going through there, the volume of oil that we're used to receiving on our shorelines on a daily basis has not been occurring. So we have been drawing from our reserve stockpile, and it is now at the lowest level since 1983. In fact, some people are projecting that we are about 20 days out from being at or below the minimum operating level on a nationwide scale for emergency oil reserves, which is really not a great spot to be. And regardless of what they say to the press, Trump and his administration are very keenly aware of this, but they are too prideful to surrender and just end this war. I somehow missed this, but at the beginning of the month, Trump actually declared a national emergency for the food supply. He is suspending tariffs on fertilizer imports because he knows that there's not enough fertilizer getting to our farmers who obviously grow our food on a commercial scale, things that we need such as wheat and soybeans and other commercial food products. So all signs point to this being not great, and then you pair that with the fact that today and yesterday, both Iran and the United States have traded strikes once again, and it looks like the memorandum of understanding, the peace treaty, the ceasefire, whatever you want to call it, it looks like it's gone. It looks like it's gone. I don't know if we'll return to full-fledged fighting, but the last couple of days, both sides have exchanged attacks, including today. So we are turning the heat up high, and we are all just being cooked inside this boiling pot of water. And this has got to resolve itself one way or another. Trump has backed himself and the country into a very tight corner. Because not only will we not survive this as a nation, but this would be a global economic recession if this continues for much longer.
So, like everything else, though, you want to talk about having a hard day. Yeah. Esau just ain't used to it, but there's one more, right? Yeah, and this is going to be from WAM video. And you've heard from Apostle Tahar that he believes that even though he's not in the know, that he believes that this may very well be a jig because he's in the know, but he just doesn't know he's an Israelite. I heard Apostle Tahar say that because he's quoted things from World Alternative Media, Josh, before. But Josh is going into this very same subject. You can see what's going on, though. We're talking about the most important things because if it really does run out and you start to see this summer, this may be our very last summer before things really heat up. In other words, man, I think we're near the end. You can just see that this whole place, it's checkmated. It's been checkmated the whole time.
Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and the war rages on in Iran. No one should be shocked if you've been watching our reports for quite some time when we talk about the 7-country plan, the script of this agenda. But it means major consequences for everyone when it comes down to global trade. Zero Hedge reports return to war. Iran fires ballistic missiles at Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Jordan after U.S. struck 170 Iranian targets. A lot of this stems from claims that Iran bombed certain places, which Iran denies, which led to Israel striking them, which led to them striking back in reality, and then that led to, of course, further conflict with the U.S. attacking Iran. But there's more to it than meets the eye, as always. And the U.S. has begun bombing Iran for a second night. We're going to go into some of the reports on that and some of the videos. But this also has massive, massive consequences. Deepening dark trend emerges on Hormuz as ship traffic slows. How many times do I have to say that this is going to happen, that this is going to perpetuate, because this was all scripted long ago? We are not going to see someone snap their fingers in politics and make this all end just overnight. You know, people keep calling me black-pilled. I wrote on X at World Alt Media, am I black-pilled for the 40th time now on Iran when I say this will not end and any claim of a deal is nonsense? This is the end point of the 7-country plan. It has been scripted for decades. Trump isn't some idol to be worshipped. He's not ending wars. He's partaking in them as his masters have demanded. Anyone who still doesn't get this is lost. We're going to go into the consequences of this, the shutdown of global trade, which is clearly happening right now, and what the elites plan to do about it, and what you should do. But before we get into this, I urge people to check those links below, and one thing that you could do about it is go to Heaven's Harvest Fruits and Vegetables. Our last episode on July 5th. I urge people to check it out. It's over 2.5 hours long. We do interviews, we do reports and all these. You get a lot for what you're paying a month. 4 to 5 depending on
how he has his own alternative media like W7 does.
Every Sunday at 2 p.m. PST, but the only way to get the replay is on Patreon. Subscribe. So we need your help. We have GoGetFunding.com as well. Thank you to anyone who helps support us. We need it badly because we're bankrupt, because we dare to speak out against both sides of the paradigm, and the algorithm suppresses us. Now let's get into this. So, return to war, it says. Iran fires ballistic missiles at Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Jordan after U.S. struck 170 targets. Just as the U.S. nightmare strikes were significantly bigger than prior rounds in June, so has Iran's retaliation been bigger, chiefly on Gulf states and American bases there. In the overnight and Thursday daytime hours, Iranian ballistic missiles and drones have targeted Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, and even faraway Jordan. The country is reporting that it has intercepted several missiles which targeted Muwafaq Salti Air Base, jointly, by the way, operated by U.S. and Jordanian forces. Oil prices have persisted above pre-war levels on Thursday. Yeah, and it's going to get worse. And we're going to go to what Trump is saying about that shortly. I do want to point out that, you know, this is following a U.S. airstrike. This is following 2 days of U.S. airstrikes that have killed at least 14 people. And as we speak, as I report this right now, the U.S. is currently bombing Iran. Let's listen to this Fox News report, a bit of it. I know it's silly. I know they're promoting war in this region. I know they're a major part of the propaganda aspect, but obviously we can watch it without falling for it and just understand what Trump is saying, because there's some clips of Trump responding to this recent attack.
Also breaking at this hour, the U.S. launching its second round of strikes in 24 hours in response to Iran firing on ships in the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. forces hit approximately 90 Iranian targets, and Tehran responding by firing on American allies across the region. The back-and-forth attacks coming just weeks after a hard-fought deal to end this war.
Hard-fought deal. It's all fake. All of it's fake. I don't know how much I have to explain this. It's all fake. These deals are not real. And as soon as the deals start to come through, allegedly, Israel attacks Beirut. It leads to a further conflict. It starts to teeter off a little bit. And then a false flag attack is framed against, of course, Iran, which leads to, I mean, there'd be no reason...
Including assassination.
So this is happening during the Ayatollah's funeral, which is several days long, which is, by the way, the most attended funeral of all time right now. They were saying that millions upon millions upon millions of people showed up in the streets for the Ayatollah Khamenei's funeral.
Trump, renewing his threat to, quote, finish the job.
We just hit him very hard, and I say we hit him 20-1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20. And we did it last night. They did a little something today, but it was really retribution for last night. They hit actually 3 boats, not 2. And when they hit, we hit back much harder.
Mike Tobin's reporting live out of Tel Aviv for us right now. Mike?
And Sandra, Iran has been firing at its neighbors for the first time in this round of fighting. Hostile aircraft have entered Jordanian airspace. The Jordanians say they shot down some 8 missiles. U.S. Embassy staff there was ordered to shelter in place. No injuries. The U.S. hit multiple targets, including bridges on rail lines that the U.S. says were used by Iran to transport weapons. Those were hit. U.S. Central Command says some 90 different targets were taken out.
Always hitting infrastructure.
Out in Iran last night. 80 were hit the night before. Now, Iranian state media reported explosions in southern port cities. Explosions in Bashir, home to that massive nuclear power plant complex. The U.S. says the targets were on the coast. The power plant was not hit. We've got video of explosions in the port city Khabakar. Iranian counterstrikes went into Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain. Kuwait says they shot down 3 ballistic missiles, a cruise missile, and 10 drones. The Kuwaitis also say 1 person was hit by debris. President Trump says the Iranians have been calling him and want to make a deal.
We've already won militarily. They have very little left, and they want to make a deal so badly. They called a little while ago. They want to make a deal so badly. I just don't know if they're worthy of making a deal. I don't know that they're going to honor the deal.
He caught himself there because, of course, you can't. He has accidentally said a few times recently that maybe there will be no deal, which is basically exactly what we've been saying. Also, this idea that, they want to make a deal in general, or that we're going to make a deal with him. Like, the Iranians keep saying, like, every time Trump says we are calling him, we're not calling him. I don't know what he's talking about.
The 6-day funeral for the late Grand Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is now in its final day. Mourners in the casket crossed into Iraq, the holy cities of Najaf and Karbala. They're back in Iran today with a burial for Khamenei planned in the town of Mashhad, where he was born, where he received his religious education. Iranian notables, even one general who was marked for death, all made an appearance at this funeral. The no-show is the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei. His security staff said security concerns were the reason he did not show up, but there's a lot of speculation that he was badly disfigured in this first round of fighting.
Yeah, okay, well, we keep hearing that kind of stuff. Now, I want to point out, and I've mentioned it many times before in past videos, Iran had not attacked the country in 200 years. They only fought back starting in June of 2025 against strikes against them, preemptive attacks on them. And then this year, we've seen a wave of attacks by Iran on other targets in the region that have been working directly with Israel and the United States. Now, I don't support any civilians, any places getting bombed anywhere in the world. I'm anti-war. I want to make it very clear, though, the hypocrisy of the United States to talk for a second about making the world a safer place and stopping them from holding nuclear weapons. Well, first of all, 4 months ago, Trump said that they had destroyed all of their weapon systems. And then Iran started using larger weapon systems. So Israel started using larger weapon systems. We recently reported on a Hiroshima-style attack on a town in Lebanon, which wiped it off the face of the map. But anyway, the U.S. is the one that attacked over 100 countries in 100 years. They're the ones that allegedly are the only ones that ever used nuclear weapons on another place, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And then they're going to virtue signal about Iran and how dangerous they are. After everything that the U.S. and Israel have done, they are going to virtue signal about bring peace to the world by stopping Iran. And by the way, bring peace to the world by starting a war. And by the way, reopening trade after being the original ones that caused the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Like, what are you talking about? And people are struggling at home. And when Trump was asked about, like, do you think about the Americans' financial situations at all? He says, no, I don't think about it one little bit because I am focused on making sure Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. When he was asked about gas prices, he says, high gas prices are the price we pay for Iran not having nuclear weapons. We played these clips before in our videos. This is so beyond delusional, and the people that are supporters of Trump that know very damn well that they were against the Iran war and they were against going to war with any countries when they were voting for him, at least they pretended to be, are now pretending, oh, well, this is 5D chess and, oh, there's a reason for this, and we're panicans. Watch my video recently on social engineering where I go into the idea of they call everyone panicans, quote unquote, because Trump did that once. Because Trump did that once, now we're all panicans. Let's repeat after me. It's the same thing as the left does with the trans, bigotry, homophobia, whatever they want to title you with and throw at you if you say literally anything that goes against them. It's so absurd. But this is what both sides do. This is another sign, a great example of the paradigm and how easily manipulated people are to then throw away all of their beliefs and all of the things that they fought for. Because they want to be part of the crowd. They want to be part of the social construct. They want to fit in. They want to feel comfortable in their slumber. It's a new slumber than the other slumber that they used to be in. It's switching sides of the coin, essentially.
Yeah.
Now, we see the continuation of these bombs. We see these strikes happen here. Powerful U.S. strike hits Iran control tower. Crazy stuff happening on the ground there. And, they blew up a school. They're targeting children.
But
I mean,
you said it was
and then
fun.
the U.S. pretends that they didn't attack the school and that it was Iran that did it, even though U.S. intelligence itself says it was probably U.S. or Israel. And they know. U.S. officials say Iran's missiles and drone attacks caused no major damage. Sure, they did. Here's John Candy. Oh, sure. Yeah. Anyone in their right mind knows that they never admit major damages if that happens, says Wee Turtle on X. This guy says, downplaying the impact of these retaliatory salvos obscures the severe consequences of the broader campaign. Okay, but U.S. has been saying that for a long time. Then they escalate. Says that person. This person says, the U.S., Iran, and Israel should choose humanity over weapons. Show off. Global surveillance says, until satellite imagery shows up. See, no one believes them. No one believes them. They've lost all of their reputation, whatever they managed to drag along this far into the game. Iran says the U.S. bombed its Bush Air nuclear power plant. Now, this is a more recent post. Now, we know that both sides are going to deny things, but attacking nuclear power plants is absolutely deranged. I wrote about this yesterday as smoke rises in Iran following U.S. strikes. Horrible, horrible stuff. And, you know, I'm super shadow banned, so this isn't something I reach a lot of people with on X, so I urge people to follow us at World Alt Media. But as I said, am I black-pilled for the 40th time now on Iran? When I say this will not end and any claim of a deal is nonsense, this is the end point of the seven-country plan. It has been scripted for decades. Trump isn't some idol to be worshipped. He's not ending wars. He is partaking in them, as his masters have demanded. Anyone who still doesn't get this is lost. You know, new strikes on Iran significantly stronger than earlier attacks as IRGC targets U.S. Navy warships. U.S. strikes on Iran announces heavy costs for earlier targeting of multiple commercial vessels, which came after Iran was targeted himself. And then these attacks on Hezbollah were happening. And by the way, I want to remind people, while Israel and the United States have armed and funded most of these terrorist groups around the world, ISIS, Taliban, Mujahideen, Muslim Brotherhood, Al-Qaeda, all these groups, Hamas, obviously, there's an outlier, Hezbollah, which was partially armed by Iran, but Hezbollah is, and I want to make it clear, not the same. They are a security militia organization that was propped up due to the fact that Israel banned Lebanese people from having their own security forces and being able to defend themselves. Now, I'm not defending everything that Hezbollah does, obviously not, but I find it strange that they're lumped in. You know, I don't support any bombings on anyone. I want every bomb to be stopped. I want all violence to end immediately. I just want to point out that there's some strange manipulative tactics used by governments around the world to describe what's happening with Hezbollah. And of course, when part of the deal with Iran was stop bombing Beirut, stop bombing Lebanon, and then the Israelis saying, screw it, we're going to keep part of South Lebanon, we're going to grow our land, and by the way, we're going to massacre people in villages in Lebanon, much like we did in Gaza.
And Syria.
And dropping bombs like at the rate of like Hiroshima on a city, wiping out an entire population, an entire town. What do you think is going to happen with this deal that you yourself are breaking, Israelis? But of course, they keep saying that when they bomb a city during a ceasefire, it doesn't break the ceasefire. And what's the point of a ceasefire? I mean, it's just, these people are impossible to deal with.
Yep, and like everything else, so that's what's drawing them in. Yeah, but just wanted to get into all those. As we read more and more articles, we know the war is on, and, you know, here we are, you know, and then this happening, right? You know, cancer rates has gone up. Now, we already know that there are certain things that are in the RNA and the mRNA that was in the mandated vaccinations that went worldwide. You know, that there were things that were causing the rates to go up. Now, you know, there was a good majority of people that didn't get it, but a lot of people did take it, and now everything's been altered. So cancer rates have gone up quite a lot, especially since 2021 and up. Cancer cases continue to soar worldwide. The world's second leading cause of death is expected to affect more than 90% of people by 2050, either through their own diagnosis or that of a close relative. New cancer cases are projected to nearly double worldwide by 2050, with the disease expected to affect more than 90%. Yeah, because you know, you mandated a vaccination, which caused everything else to grow. More cells. Whenever you alter mRNA, that's when cancer cells grow. That's just, it's not even rocket science to figure that out. You alter something that's supposed to be going a certain way, what do you think's going to happen? It's going to get disrupted, and that's when cancer cells begin to be produced. It's a no-brainer. Mitsubishi Motors joins physical AI race with humanoid robot production deal. Now, we've been getting into this a little bit, that you know, pretty much that all assembly lines and then they're going to use it for security, etc. Yeah, this is iRobot, and it's actually happening in our time. Mitsubishi Motors shares surge as much as 17% in Tokyo after the automaker unveiled a deal within the University of Tokyo to start up Highlanders to mass-produce humanoid robots, signaling a push beyond its core automotive business and reinforcing a broader trend we have highlighted that could sweep across the global auto industry. Highlander signed a memorandum of understanding with Mitsubishi Motors to develop humanoid robots for automotive factories and mass production at Mitsubishi's Kyoto plant as early as 2027. Early production runs could amount to 1,000 per month. So you see, people are going to be phased out and they ain't going to be working anymore because they got assembly robots now. And this is happening. That's one. Mitsubishi is one of Japan's biggest. They're like BMW is to Germany, and we went into BMW yesterday about how they're producing AI robots as well. It's happening. There ain't going to be any more left because all of it's going to be AI. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Yeah, you know, you could definitely say that. And yet, in the very words of the song, I've got a secret I've been hiding under my skin. My heart is human. My blood is boiling. My brain, IBM. Is that talking about the brain chip all those years early? You know, pretty much so. You already know that that's part of the MOTB system. But pretty much though, you know, that everybody would become, you know, robots into the system, better known as the New World Order. Yeah, there's a lot revealed in that song alone. And we're seeing it. We're seeing this iRobot thing come to be. Israeli state hands U.S. Curiosity timed intelligence saying Iran plotting to assassinate Trump. So here it comes. You know, they're going to say that Iran, because they do have, now there is a warrant out for him if he should ever enter into Iran, which is why he has to meet in other places. And that's for the assassination in which they mentioned here. Israeli state shared new intelligence with the U.S. that it said indicated a fresh Iranian plan to kill President Trump. People familiar with the matter said a finding that would mark an escalation in the war between D.C. and Iran. Iran for years vowed openly to retaliate against Trump for the assassination of Qasem Soleimani, who was a top general in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard in the president's first term. The Israeli embassy in D.C. declined to comment. Iran's mission to the United Nations didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. D.C. referred to Wall Street Journal comments the president made on Wednesday. So basically, you know, they're just trying to give you the smoke and mirrors that, yeah, and I think that they'll try to pull something off. This could be the false flag, a fake assassination attempt again against Trump to say that Iran doing it, and that Iran was behind all the other fake assassination attempts. You know, because they know how to hype things up, you know. And these people that watch Fox News are dumb fucking dummies. But I think there's a lot of people that have woken up and can smell the bullshit from a mile away. Trump invested in companies profiting from war against Iran. No shit. His son made lots of money off the Ukraine war. You know, both Biden and Trump made lots of money off the war. You know, Trump's son bragged about how much money he made when Trump went to war with Iran. Brokers representing U.S. President Trump reportedly purchased last year between $9.7 million and $24.3 million in stocks from arms manufacturers and other military contractors profiting from the illegal war against Iran. Trump's brokers purchased between $1.6 and $30.9 million in stock of Palantir, the surveillance technology company that developed Maven Smart System, the AI system used to strike 1,000 targets in Iran on the first day of the military assault. So they made money off this, you know. Plus these were used. Trump claims Iran asked us to continue talks, declares ceasefire over. Yeah, I definitely see that Iran is calling them up for talks, which, you know, Lisa Kavera already covered that in her video, as well as Kim Iverson, who was also in that video. U.S. President Trump said Friday that Iran asked D.C. to continue talks and that D.C. agreed to do so while reiterating that ceasefire secured last month between the two countries was over. So like everything else, so, you know, he claims that Iran wants to make a deal, you know, same rhetoric as before. Now here's what's really going on. Iran condemns Trump's vulgarity amid new escalation. Iran Foreign Minister Agashi hits back at Trump after he called Iran's leadership scum and violent people. This spat came as the U.S. resumed strikes against Iran in the most serious flare-up hostility since the country signed a preliminary peace framework last month. Addressing the civilized and courageous nation of Iran with derogatory language does not diminish its greatness, Agashi wrote on X. Iranians are known for their civility, culture, and strong moral values. We do not answer vulgarity with vulgarity, but with action, fearlessly, with great valor, he added. So like everything else, though, you're going to see a lot of exchanges happen. And, of course, over here, you're not going to really hear about them. And they're really trying to get rid of alternative media, as you can tell. Israeli state wipes out villages, attacks civilians after U.S.-led deal with Lebanese government. Oh, well, no shit. This is the 10th of July. Israeli state escalated its attacks on southern Lebanon, refusing to withdraw its terrorists from the country despite contradictory statements from the U.S. The occupying regime conducted drone attacks on the village of Kfar Dajeh in southern Lebanon on Friday, leaving 2 people injured. More Lebanese homes were blown up by the occupation forces on Thursday in violation of the alleged ceasefire. Let's face it, they're not going to do anything about it, and they're going to pretend to, but they're not. Iran targets U.S. bases in Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and Jordan following major U.S. strikes. That was yesterday. Iran's military on Thursday launched attacks against U.S. bases across the region following a second round of major U.S. strikes against Iran as a U.S.-Iran Memorandum of Understanding to end the conflict has collapsed. So, the war is on, and there's rumor that the Israeli state's about to attack as well. Iran fast-tracks 11 or 2 million barrels of oil as Trump threatens blockade. The strait could once again be closed for business as the U.S. and Iran trade strikes. Well, I don't think it really truly fully opened. Not for the enemies of Iran, anyways. Renewed strikes threaten to shatter the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding, bringing maritime traffic through the strait to a cautious standstill. Vessels have been were displaced immediately after a second day that U.S. military strikes targeted civilian infrastructure like railway bridges, killing 14 people and injuring 70, leaving 47 in the hospital, according to Iranian Health Ministry spokesman. So, like everything else, it's going to remain closed. And like everything else, though, this also, Syria does not want to get involved with the internal problems of Hezbollah, has no intention of intervening in Lebanon, because he was trying to get al-Jilani interested. Syria has no intention of intervening in Lebanon, says Speaker Bari. Lebanese Parliament Speaker Bari dismissed suggestions that Syria will intervene in Lebanese affairs, following remarks by President Trump regarding Damascus' potential role in tackling Hezbollah. Statement follows disclosures by U.S. President that said proposed Syria to take on the responsibility of confronting Hezbollah. They know that the weakened Syria could not take on Hezbollah. Anyways, because like everything else, though, the Israeli state blew up almost everything in Syria anyways when they bombed after Bashar al-Assad fell. Trump claimed the Syrian president al-Jilani had promised that he would help with the Hezbollah issue. Wow. Bari noted that the recent meeting with Syrian Foreign Minister al-Shirani had clearly addressed all relevant issues. So, in other words, Trump lied. Oh, I thought he always told the truth. Right? Yeah, Edomites telling the truth. Right. Russia opened to Turkey selling S-400 air defense systems to United Arab Emirates, sources say. Well, it's because United Arab Emirates, I believe, is a new BRICS member, so why not? Because you already know that the new broker in town is Russia. And like everything else, though, those Gulf states are eventually going to deny the U.S. of attacking, of using their space to attack. Well, right now, United Arab Emirates is kind of playing both sides. But they are BRICS members, so again, Russian government vows the potential sale of S-400 air defense systems currently operated by Turkey to the United Arab Emirates in a positive light. Multiple sources familiar with the issue told Middle East Eye, while cautioning the negotiations haven't yet to be completed. Russian S-400 systems purchased by Turkey in 2019 have been a major headache for Ankara. The acquisition led to Turkey's removal from the 5th generation F-35 jet program and triggered a series of U.S. sanctions against Turkey's defense industry. The U.S. still holds 6 of the jets in storage, as their transfer to Turkey was also blocked by U.S. legislation in 2020, and that was towards the end of Trump's last, before he was replaced by Biden. As the U.S. and Turkey repair relations following Trump's return to office in 2025, the S-400 issue and Turkey's possible return to the F-35 program have become crucial issues of discussion. So they're thinking about selling off their stuff to the United Arab Emirates. So like everything else, this is to help the Israeli state, I believe. But like everything else, Turkey is not going to sell every S-400 system that they have. They'll sell some, but not everything. And don't forget, they still have open trade with Russia anyways, and they can still buy from Russia. So that wouldn't matter anyways. Now, like everything else, though, I don't think I have time for that one, so I'm just, looking at the headlines here, so I'm going to get some scriptures to close us out. And this is, of course, in the NLT, but this is Obadiah, chapter 1. This is the vision that the sovereign power Yahweh revealed to Obadiah concerning the land of Edom. And then we know that the main land of Edom is Babylon. We have heard a message from the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, that an ambassador has been sent to the nations to say, get ready, everyone, let's assemble our armies and attack Edom. Ultimately, they're getting ready. They're in array against Babylon. The Most High says to Edom, I will cut you down to size among the nations, and you will be greatly despised. That's talking about the Israeli state and the U.S., which is the heart of Edom. You have been deceived by your own people because you live in a rock fortress, and you make your home high in the mountains. In other words, you trust in these elites. You trust in your system. Who could ever reach us way up here? You ask boastfully. But even if you soar as high as the eagles and build your nest among the stars, I will bring you crashing down, saith the Most High. And among the stars, that's talking about the Israelites. And it's talking about how the Edomites, have soared over us. But like everything else, though, they're coming to their own destruction. The Most High is gathering all these nations to come against. If these came at you at night and robbed you, what a disaster awaits you. They would not take everything. Those who harvest grapes always leave a few for the poor. But your enemies will wipe you out completely. So Esau's going to be done. Every nook and cranny of Edom will be searched and looted. Every treasure will be found and taken. All your allies will turn against you. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it. So like everything else, though, the Most High has a plan against Esau Edom. And Donald Trump has made all the allies hate them. So we couldn't be at a better time. That's why they didn't support this war against Iran. It's not because they don't support the U.S. and what it does, or even want the fall of Iran. They just can't stand Donald Trump. France don't like him. Germany doesn't like him. Poland, all of those places don't like him. Trump is an asshole, and they know it. They don't want to deal with him anymore. They're like, fuck this guy, especially Spain. They're like, fuck this guy. No, we're not going to help you. So, like everything else, we're going to see even more. And even Zelensky, at the beginning of Trump's re-election, even he said, if you don't support us, bad things will happen. It will come. So, think about that, though. Pretty much so. We are seeing the downfall of Esau Edom. We're seeing the downfall of Babylon the Great. And shit's about to hit the fan. And their government ain't even telling them. So, Hopefully this has all been edifying. For that I want to say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadosh, Wa Abba Babal. Brakatum, Jehovah Olak, Shalom.